Hi, welcome back to the Spirit's Path. This is Dee, and today's tarot card of the day out of the Wildwood Tarot deck is the Two of Arrows in Injustice. And, when I was thinking about this card today, we had the Six of Stones exploitation come out the other day. And, yesterday we talked about the Woodward and, looking at that inner strength and gaining it, but, also facing the fears. And, that's looking within. But as you've come out of this world tree, there are other fears that are trying to come out and grab you, from society, right? And you have to look at those false judgments and the ignorance and arrogance that other people have that can skew the scales of justice. And we see that here. And, one of the things that I like about the twos is, they're all about decisions. And this card is about how you disseminate information. Okay, now you can listen to the gossip that's going on around the world, and you can listen to the fear-based messages. But it's your decision on whether or not you let that stuff in. Okay, and you have to have that that decision-making process of saying, you know what, I'm going to seek out the facts of what's going on. And decide what the truth is. All right, and that's how I kind of look at this. So it's seeking the truth. And for me, when I go to seek the truth, I go to my ancestors, right? I go to my intuition. I start to look within and ask those questions. Of where is the truth in this matter? And if I've got to do a little research or something like that, then that's what I do. So, a lot of times I'll touch spirit and let them help me discern, what that message is for me as I'm moving forward. And, then I'll start asking some questions, whether it's, relationship-wise or whether it's, career-wise or anything like that. And sometimes, I'll ask others for their advice. Maybe I talk to a king of vessels, right? That's important in my life. And you can talk to, whoever those mentors are for you as well. And, talk to the people that you trust to give you the right answers. All right? Because when you trust somebody to give you the right answer, that gives you more information. That gives you more wisdom, more knowledge to move forward. And if that spurns more questions, that spurns more questions, okay? Keep seeking out those questions and test the false messages that are out there. Because when you do, and you know the truth, and then you're sitting in a meeting or you're having that conversation with a friend or, significant other, and they come out with a gossip, you can either respond to that and say, well, that's not true. Or you can keep your mouth shut and just listen to that person ramble, and then you see the true person that person is, right? Are they somebody that, is empowered to, live an enlightened, life as you're trying to be on your spiritual quest? Or do they want to get stuck down in the mud and spread all this slander around everybody, right? So, if you're one to, just look at it and say, hey, that's not true, you're calling them out a little bit, they may get offended with that. That's all right. All right, let them get offended, because you know what? The truth will set you free. And if they don't like the truth, maybe they shouldn't be hanging with you. Okay? Maybe you shouldn't be hanging with them. So, the best defense against injustice is truth. And seek the truth, like I just said, because it'll set you free. And, and some of that truth is also looking in the mirror. Look in the mirror and say, you know what? What is this relationship doing for me? What is me hanging around this person doing for me, in my career, right? In my social network? Are they dragging me down, or are they lifting me up? Right? Is it, a lot of things I say too is it a want or is it a need? And yet, do I want to be around this person, or do I need to be around this person? And if, some of those answers, when you're looking within and you're saying, you know what? I'm better off seeking, those that are like-minded in spiritual, on their own spiritual quest, than hanging around with somebody that's always got negative energy. Because, if I'm hanging around somebody with negative energy, they're just going to, I'm just going to be negative. And I don't want to be negative, right? I want to be positive. I want to give positive vibes. I want to seek out those, that have the positive energy moving forward. And when I do that, and when you do that, and you saw it in the last 90 days, things start going up. You start learning more. Things start happening a lot quicker. You get that wisdom and knowledge. So, that's today's card of the day, the Two of Arrows and Injustice. Seek out the truth with what's going on, out there in the world, and then, educate yourself a little bit. Get that wisdom and knowledge, right? And, as I said, that's the card of the day, the Two of Arrows and Justice. Hit that like button for me, subscribe to the channel, share it with others. And if you'd like a private reading, check out the link down below to the Stand Store. And, let's get together for a reading. And this is Dee for Spirit's Path. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Take care. God bless and stay safe, everybody.